Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing to share with you guys. So I have a confession to make. I've been warned many times not to buy stuff like this, and I'm sure you all have as well, probably by the same person, and I'm sure you guys are filling my comment section with the, tagline. Well, it's too late. There's nothing that I can do because I have been sucked into this, this side hobby from my main one. You guys know I'm generally a pocket knife channel. For some reason, these two things go hand in hand. So I bought another one. Thanks so much to my generous patrons who are supporting me right now. There's a link for Patreon right down below. And please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. This is linked down in the description. You can get it. As will some other things. I'll put some other things down there too. But yeah, I've already been into this box. I'm sorry. It came in late because it was FedExed. And I just was like, I'm done recording today. But I still want to share it with you guys. So this is my new Seiko watch. And I've been wearing it. I very much like it. This is the King Turtle with the waffle dial. It's got the sapphire lens here, and then it's got the. I'm not a watch guy. If you don't know, I'm not a watch guy, so I'm gonna stutter around this stuff. This is not a watch review channel. You're not gonna get, watch guys going, oh, this is not what I expected. I expect very specific measurements and this knowledge, and I don't have that. You will not get that from me. I am a knife guy who is stumbling like an idiot, like a hopeless idiot, into the world of watches, right? But anyway, sapphire and then ceramic for the bezel. This is, I believe, 45 millimeters, which is something that I really like. I'm going to put it back on my wrist. My wrist just feels completely naked without this thing because I've been enjoying it for a day. Yeah, 45 millimeters on the measurement, I guess, for the face. Now, I actually have a bunch of watches because I've been doing this for a bit now. You guys did not see, you guys have seen my Seiko King Samurai, right? And it has that similar kind of waffle with the gold second hand. Anyways, I really like that look. You guys did not see my Sumo. I did not unbox that for you. I'm sorry. That's Seiko Sumo. All of this stuff will be linked right down in the description. You guys probably know that I own a Formex Reef. Far and away the most expensive watch that I own. And then I also have this guy, which started it all. Guess who this is from? Yeah, Nick Shabazz sold me this watch. Do not get into watches, he always says. He says, with a gusto. God dang it. Nick. Yeah, Nick started this for me. And you can see there's kind of a theme here. I'll get my new one out and just put it aside. I like a little bit of color. The first, it's not like this is the first watch I've ever owned. When I was younger, I'll admit, I used to wear $100 Fossil watches in high school because, come on, I didn't know any better, right? And that's fine if that's still what you're into, right? But Nick got me on the Seiko train. And when I saw this, I thought, that's a lot like what I used to buy. Noticing that that's not exactly right. Sorry, the time is not accurate on some of these. Yeah, this looks like a lot like what I used to want to buy. It's just a lot nicer. And then I started to learn specifically about diving watches. And I haven't, I don't know everything. In fact, I'm spending money, especially here, in a territory that would suggest I know a lot more than I do, but I don't. I'm still learning. It just, a lot of times when you see pocket knives, you see watches too. People who like knives often like watches. It's just a thing. And I've been told, do not get into watches because it is a slippery slope. Well, crap, I blinked. I blinked and now I have 5 of these things, and I actually I had 6, I had another Samurai, but I gave one away. Yeah, so I'm going to link all these down below. The Sumo, it's going to be a little more expensive. Some of these Samurais come in like, really good price for what they are, which is, a diver's watch at 200 meters. I'm a big fan of 42 to 45 millimeters as far as the size goes. And then I like a bigger, kind of a weightier band. I will say I pretty much always, and it's because of, we're looking at 1, 2, and 3 here that all have this diver's extension. This is not what these Seikos, it's not what they normally come with. They normally come with this, which I do not like. But Nick spoiled me. The Formex, by the way, has its own version of that. The one that Nick sold me, it came with this. Like he had this installed. And I like this. Part of the reason why I did not wear a watch for so long, for years, is because throughout the day, it would become uncomfortable, right? And it would drive me nuts. I'm like, why is it becoming so uncomfortable? Well, it's because your wrist swells throughout the day, and then it goes back down. The extension here, the diver's extension ratchet, allows you to make these micro adjustments so that you can get the perfect fit all the time. And yeah, I know you can just, push this. I mean, that takes a while to like take those pins out. I don't want to mess with that, right? I like being able to, this guy's got its own kind of system here. If I remember how to do this, yeah. Right there, it's got its own little ratchet system, which is neat. But the idea is that I can always get a perfect fit without having to break out my tools or something, that is small enough to get in there. It's just nice. So if you're wondering, like, where do you get that stuff? How do you size it? Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to tell you the band on the Sumo, it looks like the stock band. It's actually not. It's a much, much higher quality band from Strap Code, and it came with the ratchet extension. I would imagine that this looks to be about the same. I mean, it's got the same milling on the one that Nick Shabazz sold me. Literally is the same milling. So, and these are milled, right? These are thick, which is great. They don't feel flimsy. But they're all from the same place. They're all from Strap Code. You can just go to Strap Code, find the model you're looking for, and get a wide variety of different, bands. This guy's got a real heavy-duty band on it, which I think looks great with the watch itself. And once again, a ratchet clasp. So this guy, it has its own coming. It's very similar to the band that's coming is very similar to this one. It just does not have the pin and collar setup, which I hate. It's got the screw heads, which is these are much, much, much better, much easier to deal with. And I'll once again be getting a diver's ratchet extension or ratchet clasp, whatever you want to call that. Those can be expensive, those bands. They're about 110 to 120 bucks. But they are super high quality, and it makes all the difference. It's kind of like when I say when you buy a Spyderco Para 3, you're going to want to replace the pocket clip immediately. They told me that, these Nick and a bunch of other guys who are into watches who have been slowly turning me over to the dark side. They said you're going to hate that, you're going to notice the difference in the band the first time you get something from Strap Code. So, some of these watches, like the Samurai down here, I think they run... they can run $250 to $350. Depends on when you're watching the studio, what's available, right? Some of the, stuff that's got, like the King Samurai, excuse me, had an energy drink before I started this, obviously. King Samurai, King Turtle, they might have MSRPs that are $650 or something like that, but you can find them very easily for in the $450 territory. And in my opinion, just based on what I have experienced so far, which is not very much, getting the ceramic bezel upgrade with the sapphire glass is very much worth it. It really does make it, like this guy scratches up a lot easier than the guys with the sapphire lens and the ceramic bezel for sure. And they just look better, right? And then in like the Sumo, I think the movement is a little bit different. I really like the Sumo for it just being kind of more of a plain, just straightforward look. But if you like this stuff, right? Seiko was kind of the brand that I latched onto, and yeah, it's because, the first nicer watch that I ever owned was a Samurai from Nick, but looking around, they kind of do exactly what I like. And, the first one of the first watches outside of the Tissot C-Star, which I'm sure you're wondering, why don't you still have that? I had the little quick release tab for the strap actually broke. So I sent it back. I'll probably buy another one at some point, but I went ahead and just got a refund on it. That's why that one's not with me. But very rarely have I ventured outside of the Seiko brand because they generally just do what I like. It's got the bulkier look, the bulkier feel, and then, you know, there's a wide variety in color and dial styles and all that. I kind of like the darker colors. But the diver's watch thing, I mean, it's very plentiful. And because Strapcode has so many custom... No, they're not paying me. Nobody's paying me to say anything. It's just the regular affiliate links that go to Amazon right down below. But being able to get exactly what I want, it's a big deal, right? It's kind of the same thing that I went through with Hinder knives and a lot of the pocket knives that I really like. If I'm going to spend the money on it, I want it to be exactly what I want it to be. And when we have, to me, a confusing territory like, the watch territory, it's nice to be able to get what I want. This guy, really happy with it. And I know it's kind of like this is my newest one, so maybe that's it. But this kind of has the dressiness of the King Turtle, which is this guy right here, has the dressiness of the King Samurai, all those upgraded, features, and that kind of, black, white, and kind of brass or gold look that I really like. Combined with some of the extra polishing right on the case. But it doesn't wear nearly as bulky. You can see here, this guy, the Samurai, is an absolute tank. And this guy it wears a little smaller. It wears very similar to the Sumo, which is cool. The Sumo is very curved, but it's got more of that simple kind of, I know it looks a lot more complex, but I like the little, circle markers and things like that. It has more of that. So I was kind of looking for something in between. It's very different versus my Formex, but the Formex is kind of a special watch. It's just kind of doing it. That's kind of a special occasion watch, right? These are my day-to-day watches, and I'm really happy. I bought them all, this all happened really fast, right? These three here, the Sumo, the Formex Reef, and the King Turtle here were all purchased very quickly, very much like back to back, right? Real happy that all this lined up too. A lot of people told me, sometimes you got to be careful about chapter rings and, the bezel and all the markers lining up. This one lined up absolutely perfect. I was really happy with that. So anyways, this is not a review, it's just an unboxing and first impressions for the Turtle. At some point, I would like to do a video. I actually have, believe it or not, at least one more watch coming. And I'd like to do a video on just like a full breakdown, a knife enthusiast perspective on, getting into watches and what that's like, and the fears and the confusions and the path that I took to feel a little bit more confident, because it's for some of you guys, it's no problem to drop $500 on a pocket knife, but when you're talking about dropping $500 on a watch, right? I mean, if you're not interested at all, then it's an easy decision. Then your decision is no, I'm not interested, right? But if you're curious about it, it can be a very scary decision, not knowing exactly what you're buying, not understanding the market or, anything like that. But it's in some ways it's way more complicated than I ever could have imagined. And then it's also a lot simpler than I ever could have imagined, right? There's more questions that you'll have more questions the deeper that you venture into it, right? So anyways, thanks to Nick and everybody who got me into this. I love you and hate you all, but I do love you. So I'm pretty excited about this one. I can't wait to get my new strap for that guy, or my new band for it, definitely. I think that's going to be pretty much it for today's unboxing. This is my current watch collection. Weird for a knife channel, I know, but I hope you guys were at least mildly entertained. I will link all of these models, like I said, right down below, and there'll be multiple variants. The only one I'm not going to link is the Formex Reef, because that's not something that you can get on Amazon. Anyways, I think that's going to be pretty much it. please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.